Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. It's good to see you. And I have a little surprise for you guys today. So, you know how every time, well, if you've been a loyal follower so far, in my previous videos, I refer to the channel as the channel. And I've said it in a video before that I didn't know what to call the channel. I just know I felt a sense and an urge to create it. And I felt like now was the time, so I just did it. And I knew eventually it would come to me, but we just kept rolling with it. And this is, I think, what is this, our 5th episode or 6th episode? One of the two, I'm not even too sure. But last night, little birdie came chirping into my ear and gave me a little ting, guys. So I know for you in real time, you're already seeing it. But let me formally introduce you. Welcome to the channel, Miss Master Self 101. And yes, I am yours truly, Miss Master Self. And this is a channel where we'll be discussing the different ways to level up ourselves, to master ourselves, and to also build and develop our character while we're navigating through life so that we can get to each and every desire that it is that we want. So, yeah, y'all, last night, I was just sitting down, right, on the porch, and I don't know, it was just very quiet. It was very serene, and I was just asking stuff out to the universe, and I felt like the answers were just downloading to me, right? And I was like, universe, I can't keep referring to the channel as a channel. I have to figure out some kind of name, but I just couldn't come up with a name. Like the things that I was thinking of, it was just like, okay, yeah, that's cool, but I don't know about that. And then it just, I don't know, it just came to me, y'all. I was like, well, the channel is about mastering self. And I am sort of a guidance or a counselor or a teacher or an instructor or educator in this sense. So yeah, miss. I should have some glasses on so I could look over them. Y'all call me Miss Master Self, okay? So yeah, welcome to the channel. Go ahead and hit that like button for me. Comment, talk to me. Tell me how you feeling today. Tell me how you feel about this topic we'll be discussing. If you have comments throughout, drop them down in the comment section so I can see and correspond back with you guys. And please share the video with a friend. Sharing is caring. If you haven't already done so, hit that subscribe button and don't forget to turn on your post notification bell so as soon as I drop a new video, you already know. So yes, let's go ahead and get into today's topic. Guys, today we are going to be discussing a matter of friends. So who do you know? Well, not who do you know, but who should I keep in my circle and who should I kick out? That's going to be today's topic. Weeding through and detoxing not just things, but the people in your life in order to get to a certain level. Friends can be a very touchy topic. Friends can be a very loose term for some people. So first, I think we need to start there. What do you define as a friend? What do you feel like a friend is? Like, what are some of the qualifications that it takes to become your friend? Like, when you consider somebody a friend, is it because you've known them longer? Is it because you guys have experienced more things together? Is it because you just had an instant connection that you just couldn't deny? Is it because you guys had great chemistry? Like, what made that your friend? What do you consider a good friend? Start there, because that's going to be different for everybody. For me, that friend word hit a little heavy, hit a little different. I have friends. I don't have many friends. I won't lie to you. I do have associates, though. You know, I have acquaintances. I have people that I know here and there. But when I call somebody my friend and consider them a friend, this is somebody who I probably speak to regularly. It doesn't have to be on a daily basis, but pretty regular. You know, we're active in one another's lives, whether that be support, whether that be encouragement, celebrating, mourning, grieving together, leveling up together, making money together, just relaxing together. You know what I'm saying? For me, a friend is, it doesn't have to be time, but it has to be more so feeling, the energy and experience. For me, is what have we been through together that would consider us to be like, okay, yeah, this is my friend. I'm definitely rocking with him or I'm rocking with her. So for everybody that's different, you know, some people just meet people and they're like, hey, I like you. You're my new friend. And then for others, it kind of takes a little bit more. For some people, it takes time. Like they need time to actually consider you a friend. So what is a friend for you? Next, you need to evaluate the people that you consider friends in your life. Why? The people who you the people who you have around you, they indirectly affect your future in a sense. Have you ever heard that saying, show me who your closest, show me who your closest 5 friends are, and I'll show you exactly how much money you'll make in the future, or I'll show you exactly how successful you'll be in the future? That is a real thing. Why? Birds of a feather flock together. Where energy goes, energy flows. So if you're hanging around low life bums, people with no ambition, people with no kind of vision, you're not really going to go anywhere. Those usually are individuals who have stagnant energy. It just it just circulates. It's just a cycle. They do the same thing over and over. If you remain in that type circle, you will become that as well, because that is the type of energy you are surrounding yourself with. You're telling the universe, this is what I like, this is what I want, and I want more of this. And the universe is going to move for you and bring you more of those feelings and experiences. So you don't want that. When you think about the friends that you have in your life, you know, you need to weed through the friends with those characteristics that are fake, backstabbing, two-faced. You know how you have some people that they smile and they laugh in your face, but then behind your back or behind closed doors, they're talking about you or making like little funny comments about you and stuff like that? No, you don't keep those type of people around you. Those are low vibrational people. They mean no good for you. They actually mean more harm. But it doesn't hurt to keep an enemy close either, because it keeps you in the game. It keeps you informed, in a sense. If you know anything about the laws of power, which, that's a good topic. We may have to discuss some of those laws of power. If you know anything about laws of power, that is one of them, keeping your enemies close to you. So, but when it comes to elevating your life, when you're in the stage of growing and expanding, right? You can't have that kind of energy around you. You can't have those kind of folks around you, because you don't want that energy to transfer onto you. The transfer of energy is real. Friends who are jealous of you. Everybody knows what it feels like to have a jealous friend if you've ever had one. You know, like when you have your wins, they're not celebrating with you and kind of brush you off and kind of give you the cold shoulder. They're not really hi, happy, supportive, and light. They're just like, oh, wow, good for you. You know, you see my face, my body language. Do you feel that expression was completely different? It wasn't warming at all. You know, keep those folks around you. Be very attentive when it comes to those things. Like when you start winning, and sometimes lie. Just to see if you need to test your friends out, sometimes lie and be like, hey, such and such happened to me today, something really good, and see how they respond. That's going to tell you a lot about that friend, because a good friend is going to always support you and congratulate you and celebrate your wins with you, and vice versa. When you're grieving and when you're mourning, you know, they're going to be there to be a rock and be grounding and be that moral support for you. That's a good friend. That's somebody who loves you and cares about you. But a fake friend, those tendencies, they usually can mask them at first, but they always come out eventually. So just pay attention to that and be attentive and lie sometimes and see the type of reactions that you get. I'm so serious when I say that. You see, I did not crack a smile at all. If you're confused about the energy or the people who you have around you, try it out and see what happens. Let's see, what else? Competition. Have you ever been around somebody and it feels like they're just in competition with you? Like if you do something, they have to do it too, or they have to do it better, or they have to do more of it. Or like, let's say you're on the phone and you're explaining something to them, and you're sharing an experience that you had, and they have to, in a sense, compete with you and bring up an experience that may have been similar to what you had in that same sense, when the issue wasn't about them, you know, initially. You don't want those type of folks around you. Again, those are low vibration people, and when you have those type of frequencies and vibrations around you, it's kind of counteracting what you're doing, because where you're moving out of light and you get this burst of energy and you feel so good because you've been really going inside doing your work, whether inside outside, and you're feeling those benefits and reaping from it, and you're glowing. And then you have somebody that's around you, and maybe in front of you they may seem like they're happy, but behind closed doors they're not. Energy doesn't lie. So when you have your light energy and then their dark energy, those are opposing energies that are going on. So where you're trying to move up, and elevate in life, you won't be able to do that as easily or as quickly, because you have that negative opposing energy. Versus if you just go ahead and kick that out your life, it'll be much easier to levitate. How about people who have stagnant energy? Pay attention to people who have repeated cycles. People who move around like this, it's never like this. They just keep, either they're going down or they just continue in that same cycle. They're not really doing more. They've been in the same job for years, in the same role. They're not thinking about more. They don't really have goals that they've set for themselves to achieve. And it just seems like they're very satisfied where they are. They're satisfied with mediocrity. Keep those folks from around you if you are an ambitious person. That is another opposing factor. It won't work. Those are the type of people that you want to weed. Those are the type of friends and people that you want to weed out of your circle. If you're trying to achieve elevation, if you're trying to achieve success on another level, you have to put yourself on another level, put yourself up on a pedestal. And being around those folks would definitely bring you right on down to where they are. No good. We've already talked about the no goals, people with no ambition, where, even if you bring up something, they don't really take any kind of action to it, or you bring a conversation up one time and they never bring it up again. You don't see them doing anything towards it. It doesn't spark any kind of interest or motivation or creativity for them. Stay away from those people. Don't be around them. Cut them off. You can't be around people with no imagination. You need to be around dreamers. Dreamers are who are going to support you and keep your light lit. Because when you come up with a good idea and you bring that good idea to a dreamer, you get an optimistic response. That optimistic or happy or good or supportive response, that boosts your confidence on the inside to keep going. And you usually do. Versus when you go and you tell someone who is more pessimistic, and when they, start telling you about why it's not going to work and how that's stupid and that's not a good idea, that discourages you. Brings that confidence about the idea all the way down, and it also lowers some of your own self-confidence. And it also can contribute to conflicting self-feelings, because where you felt like this was a really good idea, and then you have somebody telling you, no, that wasn't a good idea, that was really stupid. So now you're saying to yourself, well, damn, was that really a stupid idea? I thought it was a really good idea. So really, I don't come up with good ideas. And now look at that battle that you are creating within self. No good. Keep those folks from around you. Now, there's one thing that I want to talk about where I didn't really understand it, because it happened to me ever since I was younger, and that's mimicking. Have you ever been around somebody and it's like, okay, have you ever been around somebody and it's like they want to do exactly what you do? Like, let's say you mention something to them, and then by next week they have that same thing that you've mentioned. You wear your hair a certain type of way, the next day they have their hair, or they're talking about getting their hair done the same type of way as well. That's just an example, You say you want to start this type of business, and they start a business that's damn near identical to what you're doing. Those people who want to mimic you, when I was younger, I didn't like it, because it just made me feel like, like, aren't you your own person? Like, why you want to be like me? Why do you want to have what I have? That was the problem. And honestly, the real problem was, like, if I was saying, okay, I want to get this, so I don't have it yet, I want to get it, and then the person go get it before I get it. It's like, now dang, I wanted that. You didn't want that. Don't you have a mind for yourself? Like, that really used to irritate me and aggravate me a lot. But then as I got older, I realized that really isn't anything to be like irritated about, because sometimes it's just people who admire you. It's just as simple as that. And that's honestly one of the best compliments that you could ever get. Like, somebody see you doing your thing to the point where they're like, I really look up to you. Like, I value you. I value your advice. I value your mindset. Thank you. That's a really good compliment when you look at it from that way. And probably had I been looking at it from that way, I would have attracted a lot more good to my life instead of looking at why she want to be like me. You know what I'm saying? So, but that mimicking is kind of a touchy subject. So it's kind of up to the person. So to each his own. But that doesn't really bother me too much no more. But for the rest of them, oh no, they got to go. Family. Let's talk about family. So what happens when said type of people that we're discussing is actually family members? So let's be real, y'all. Extended family members, you can let them go. You know what I'm saying? Aunts, uncles, cousins, like, those are not people that you talk. Well, you could talk to them on an everyday basis, but you don't have to talk to them on an everyday basis, is what I'm trying to get at. You can kind of kick them to the curb and let them go, because you're going to need your space. You need time and you need space to get to where you want to be mentally first. Once you get to where you want to be mentally and you master that envision and that feeling, nothing can stop you. Nothing can touch you. Nothing can lower your confidence. Nothing can affect you. But when you're not at that stage yet, you can't have those type of folks in your life. So I'm sorry, family, for right now, you got to go. Now, you don't have to let them go forever. This can be either a definite or indefinitely thing. It doesn't have to mean, okay, I'm kicking you out and I'm cutting you off forever. No, not necessarily. This could just be like a, just for right now. Maybe this is just for a few months. Maybe this is for a year. Who knows? But let me just get myself together, and then when I'm ready, I'll come back to you. Now, they are people of emotional intelligence. They will understand the process of life, and they will let you do your thing. And then when you come back, it won't be any hard feelings. But you kind of like nowadays in this generation, people get very sensitive. So just keep that in mind. Not that it matters, because that don't have nothing to do with you. Ooh, baby, that's gonna be another topic, y'all. It don't have nothing to do with me. It doesn't have anything to do with me. This is gonna be another topic, because sometimes we put ourselves in a crossfire, taking up for other people's battles and inserting ourselves where we really should not be. And we need to talk about that too. So that's gonna be another topic for another time. So yeah, y'all. Family. Okay, so extended family members. But what about if it's a close family member, like a parent or like a sibling or something like that? The first thing that I would say is get away physically. So this is my tea, y'all. Sometimes when I brew my herbs, instead of drinking it as a hot tea, I'll make it into like an iced tea, like a sweet tea type thing. So it's easier, it tastes good to drink down. Anyway, that'll be another topic too. Like a parent or a sibling, first get away physically. So if it's, let's say you're living inside your parents' house and you can't live under their roof anymore, especially like if you have an abusive parent, whether physically or verbally, or growing up with a narcissistic parent, that's very traumatizing, and you just need to get away. You need to get out. Look into moving. If you can't afford to move by yourself, get a roommate. If you can't afford to where it's just you and a roommate, go to somewhere that does student living, like colleges and stuff. If you are living close to like a college, They offer off-campus student living. A lot of those places, you don't have to be a student to live there, and you have like either 3 or 4 other roommates, and y'all share the bills. So that's a lot more cheaper. It's probably like, well, depending on where you live. I live in Florida. So where I live at, it's like, I don't know, probably $600 to $700 or something like that. And that's everything. You know, that's your lights, your cable, your Wi-Fi, your amenities, your rent, all of it, your water, all of that. That's included in there. So I would do that to get away if you can't afford to live on your own. If you can't afford to move out, then I would just stay out of the house more often. I would find things to do. I would keep myself busy. I would make new friends. If I would get a new man and spend more time at his house or with him. I would spend more time at a library because people don't bother you there. It's quiet, it's calming, it's serene. You have books to keep you company. You could do anything, get on your computer and do what you need to do. Start you a business while you're in the library. You're surrounded by books. Pick up a self-help book. How to Start a Business. Complete Idiot's Guide to How to Start a Business. Start reading it. You got a computer right there. Get you a library card. Get on the computer. Start researching. Make you a business plan. Go and look up a book and check out a book on how to make a business plan. To be honest, y'all, that's a gem right there. Like, a lot of knowledge is in books. I love books. Don't get me wrong. I love Google because it's so convenient. It's so quick and the information is there. But sometimes the sources are just not as reliable on the internet like they are in books, especially old books. I can't stress that enough. I love a good used book. Library, or I get a lot of my books from thriftbooks.com. Those are like, just think of a book consignment store, a book thrift store. I love older books for a reason. Number one, I love them because they're usually the versions before they water down the mess that they give us nowadays. Like, older versions of books have a lot more information in it, and then as the years go by and they make new series, they tell you they added new information, but really they're taking out the vital information, the good part, the stuff that actually worked, they take it out. So I love old books, and I don't mind used books. I like reading other people's notes. I like feeling that energy because this is all creative energy. The other person who read this book and finished this book, I'm pretty sure their minds was at a certain type level, such as mine's, such as yours. So I just love that. So yeah, y'all, I would go in there and I would get me a book on how to do a complete business plan while in the library. The library is open almost all day. You got AC, you got Wi-Fi, you got the bathroom, you can order you some food. Listen, it's booming. If you can't get out your house and you don't have anywhere to go and you need somewhere to go that's free and it's hot, depending on where you at, oh yeah, go to the library, go to the park, go to the beach, go by water. Always going by water is going to be the best thing for you. Water is always in a constant state of flow. Just how life should be. Life should always be flowing, never forced. It should always just be flowing, such as water. When you go by water, hearing it is very calming and soothing to us because, you know, we lived in water, y'all. When we were in our moms inside the placenta, was what is that amniotic fluid that's in there surrounding us, which is water. So that natural soothing sound of water is going to put you in a higher mental state than what you would have been before. It'll definitely raise your vibration and your frequency. So if you were upset and you were going out there, it would definitely calm you down. If you were feeling creative and motivated to like learn, you go out there, that calmness, start doing your work, the energy around you from the plants, from the trees, that wisdom, it all connects for you. It's very grounding, actually. I would do that for sure. And just think of different ways, different cheap ways. Go to somebody else's house. You know what I'm saying? Go to people who you want to be like. Go to people that make you feel good. Go to people who don't confuse you. If anyone confuses you, stay away from them. That's another good one too. I don't go around people who confuse me because I don't have time trying to figure out, okay, do you really like me or are you playing in my face right now? I don't have time for that. I have time to learn what I want to learn. So I don't have time to play those kind of games. So no, that's enough for me. So stay away from them too. But yeah, y'all, that's what I would do if it was an immediate family member. And then, you know, eventually you're going to get to a state where you can reject their energy automatically. to where they start trying to tell you some BS, and it's almost like your brain just naturally tunes them out, even though you're physically hearing them still talk. But it's like your brain is not receiving it. It's not receptive to the BS that's coming out of their mouth. Eventually, you will get to that level. But it is going to take some time. And sometimes you have to distance yourself physically before you can get to that mental level. Because with time, it's going to come. Things are going to happen. That's how life is. Life be lifing. So things will come up that'll test you. You'll pass those tests, and once you keep passing it, it'll get easier and easier to pass it until you master it, and you get to that mental state to where, yeah, you can bring anything to me now, and I don't even care. It don't even bother me like that. Period. So yeah, y'all, if it's an immediate family member, that's how I would take care of that situation. And remember, with these videos, this is what works for me. This is how my mind thinks. This is the same advice that I would give to my friends, my family members when they come to me, and they do come to me often. And I like to think that I give them pretty good advice. They say the same thing, and the stuff they do, it works out for them too. So this is just what I would do. Now, if you have a family member, and even if it is an immediate family member and it's just somebody who you just can't bear to be around, cut them off. You can always revisit whenever you need to, but if it's necessary, you need to cut them off, because it is about you right now. It is about your mental health and your mental state. And if you are around a person and they don't serve you, they're not good for you, you don't feel good when you're around them, when you leave them, you feel drained, or you feel just different, irritated, upset. You don't need any of those kind of low vibrations around you at all. So cut them off. And this is going to be a tough one if you live with the person, but you can cut them off too. You can cut them off. A lot of the times, well, I don't want to say that to categorize everybody, but for an example, let's say you're living with a narcissistic family, right? They are so narcissistic. Narcissists are full of themselves. They're very self-conceited. They think about self 24/7. You can cut them off, and they probably won't even realize that you're cutting them off, is what I'm trying to get at, because they are so involved with self. So for those of you that have those type of situations at home, just keep that in mind. Even if you live with the person and you're not able to move out of that situation physically, you can still cut them off within the home, and they probably won't even realize. And even if they do realize, they really don't even care that much. Stop telling them your business. Stop talking to them. When it comes to those type of people, and I only speak from experience, that's why I can't speak on it. It's almost like they look for your reaction. They thrive off of your reaction. They thrive off of your negative emotions. So don't give it to them. Cut them off mentally. That's what you do. You still live with them, so you can't cut them off physically, but you can cut them off mentally. And when you really get to that point where you say, this is what I'm doing, when you're definite about that. Remember that definite aim we were talking about from Napoleon Hill? When you make that your definite aim, that I am going to cut this person off and out of my life because they are no longer good for me and I deserve way better, the universe will move in ways to that will be cut off for you. You have no idea. Something will conspire in the ether to where you end up getting your own apartment, even if you felt like you couldn't afford it before. The how doesn't matter. It's the why. It's the feeling. It's the what you're trying to do and what that means to you. That's what really matters. So a lot of the times, yes, cut them off mentally. Cut them off mentally and let the universe do its magic. Trust me. If you know anything about spirituality, then you know exactly what I'm talking about right now. And then, guys, the last thing or the last set of people that I want to talk about are coworkers. Y'all don't mind me, my lips getting a little dry. Coworkers is another group of people that are vital to our lives, because if you are working a job like a full-time job, a 40-hour week job, you spend a lot of your time with your coworkers. And the majority of the time, you spend most of your time with your coworkers. Then you do your own family at home. Ooh, that's another good one. If you live with your people and you ready to cut them off mentally and you can't move out, pick up overtime. Get a new job. Start a side business to keep yourself busy. Not only are you keeping yourself busy, but you're getting that money, you're getting to that bread. Eventually, you'll make so much money where you can quit your day job and you can really start living a lifestyle that you want to live. I would do that. I would start figuring out how to live the life that I really want and get up out of that rut. I would get a lot of self-help books on manifestation and the law of attraction. I would get books on alchemy. And I would read about that, and I would really study it, and I would practice it. And I would get myself right on up out that situation. Your mind is a terrible thing to waste, and it is very powerful, y'all. Okay, I'm sorry for that little side rant, because what we was talking about got me there. So yeah, your coworkers, you spend a lot of time with them, so you got to weed through them too. And it's a lot easier to cut them off, because you only have to be around them at work. And when you're at work, you at work. So you really don't have to talk to them. And depending on what kind of job you have, you can always be like, oh, girl, today was such a busy day. And, oh, girl, I just can't get off the phone. I had so many calls today and I had so much stuff to do. Just lie. I'm so serious. Just lie. I done said that one time already. This second time, just lie. When it comes to coworkers, anyone who has a bad reputation, you want to cut them out of your circle. So somebody who comes to work late all the time, somebody who has a nasty attitude, just has a bad reputation of doing something at work. You don't want to get yourself mixed up in that kind of company, because birds of a feather flock together. So people are going to automatically associate you as having that same type of character as well. So you don't want to associate yourself with that type of character, even if you really like them. But they just, got this nasty attitude that nobody could stand. Can't do it. Gotta cut them off, love. They're eventually gonna cut themselves off. Those type of attitudes and low vibrations don't really get that far anyway. So go ahead and cut them out from your life now. It'll be a lot easier now than it would be later had you guys actually bonded and created a relationship. Any co-workers who influence you negatively to do certain type things. Peer pressure. Peer pressure is okay. You thought peer pressure was just when we were in school. No, peer pressure still is relevant as an adult. Don't associate yourself with anybody who is going to try to pressure you into doing anything that you don't want to do. That is not a friend. That is not a good individual. That is somebody who is selfish and they want you to be on the same level as them or do the same thing as them. Or sometimes it's not even about that. Sometimes it's just like, this is what I want to do. And I don't trust you, so I want you to do it with me so that if we go down, you did it too and I can use that. Sometimes that's how they think, y'all. So don't associate yourself with those type of people. You don't ever want to associate yourself with anybody that's going to make you look in any kind of negative way, because you never know who is watching. You never know what's going on. It could be the CEO that's coming to the company and they see you and they say, this woman will really be a really good, she would really be a good candidate for this role. And then your boss be like, yeah, but she like to hang out with Chatty Cathy, who be gossiping about people's husbands and X, Y, and Z. And she be over there gossiping about people's husbands and stuff like that. Well, we can't have that. And boom, lost your shot. It's as simple as that. And that's just one little simple example. Keep them folks away from you. Anyone who has a poor work ethic, they take a whole bunch of breaks. They always complain about the type of work that they have. They don't produce good work. They have a lot of errors and mistakes in their work. Yes, weed them up out your circle as well. Listen, your circle should only have success. Whatever it is that you are manifesting and you desire, that's what should be in your circle. You don't have potential in your circle, okay? We don't accept potential. We accept the present. That's my motto, okay? I don't look for potential love. Potential doesn't get me anywhere because a lot of people don't live up to their potential. Do you know how many people go to the graves? You know, they say that's where the most ideas and potential lie, in the graveyard, because it dies with them. Nope. We don't look at potential, we look at present. What is their character like presently? Who are they presently? If they are the type of people who you want to be, yes. If not, no. If, I'm not too sure, no. You gotta be cutthroat with this process, especially in the beginning. Trust me. Let's see, did we hit anything? Know your limits when it comes to peer pressuring and people trying to get you to do stuff. Set boundaries. That's a great one. Set boundaries. Set boundaries with your coworkers. Set boundaries with your friends. And also set boundaries with your family members, especially if it's the family members, like immediate family members who you're not able to actually cut off. Then set really good boundaries with them, verbally and non-verbally. So a verbal boundary would be you actually going up to them and voicing and saying, listen, I don't like when you say or do X, Y, and Z. It makes me feel this kind of way. Please don't do it again. Or because you said such and such, it made me feel some kind of way. So I am no longer going to do X, Y, and Z. That is a boundary. You set your boundaries verbally. A non-verbal boundary, if it's somebody who you're trying to cut off and you're cutting them off mentally and you actually live with them in the house, then a non-verbal boundary would be, I don't go into their room at all. When they are in the living room and they are doing their thing, I don't go in there at all. Set your boundaries, love. You still have power. Even when you feel like you're in a situation that's powerless, you still have power. You got to find it. Where there is a will, there is a way. So yeah, guys, I feel like those are the areas where we need to weed out when it comes to friends and people and close people, like our family members and our peers, like our coworkers that we have in our daily life. We actually have to weed through them. We got to detox them out of our life. We got to take out anybody who no longer serves us or the life that we're looking to build. It's not about where you are right now. It's about where you're going. You know that saying, it's not about where you are right now. It's about where you want to go. Exactly. So it's not about what you're doing and who you have around you right now. It's about who do you want to be in the future? What kind of life and lifestyle do you want to be living? What type of people would you be associated with when you get to that level in life? You need to be around those people. And honestly, that gets you there a lot quicker too, because energy transfers, y'all. That's why I'm saying, like, you got to know who to weed out, because that energy will transfer onto you, and either you will never make it to where you want to go, or it'll take you a lot longer than it should have or could have. But that also works vice versa. When you surround yourself in the environment that you want to be in on a regular basis, you speed up the process, because like energy attracts. So when you put yourself in that environment or around certain type people, now you're inviting more of those environments and those same type of people and experiences into your life. That's how the universe works. When you give the universe a command, it moves to that command and it brings more of those experiences. That's why they say when you're talking, death and life lies within the tongue. So be very careful with your words. You will get exactly what you want And you will also get exactly what it is that you don't want. This is why I say it's important to focus on the positives and focus on what it is that you do want, so that you only attract what you want. Because even if you sit here and be like, okay, well, I don't want negative people in my life, I don't want jealous people in my life. It's the fact that you are acknowledging the negativity and the jealousy. The universe don't understand I don't. They just understand the commands that you give them. So it's understanding jealousy, envy, competition. It's not hearing I don't want. That's what I mean when I say you'll get what you want and you'll get what you don't want. Versus if you skew it and you focus on the positives and say, I want loving, caring, genuine people around me. Universe gives you, it don't give you I want, it give you loving, genuine, caring. It give you that vibration of loving, genuine, caring. That's how that works, y'all. So happy weeding to you all. Be sure that you take this seriously, y'all. Leveling up is not that hard, but it is a tedious process. It does take self-discipline and it does take self-consistency. So while we're building our character and we're mastering self, we're also learning self-discipline in the process. So as always, be open and transparent with self while you're going through these exercises and you're thinking about these things, so that you can come to a clear, a clear consensus on where you are right now, so that you know how to draft the next steps of where you want to go. Be honest. Get them out your circle. What they say, get them squares out your circle, baby. They're not supposed to be in there. They don't fit no more. Okay? You grew. You're growing. And you're going to be so magnificent and tall and elevated. You can't have these little short, stocky shrubs around you no more, baby. You're a palm tree. What are you doing hanging around the shrubs? Okay? Guys, thank you again for tuning in to the channel. If you haven't already done so, like that video, subscribe, turn on the post notification bell, share it with a friends. And I will see you guys on the next episode of Miss Master Self 101.